Hello, guys. How are you? So, I'm going to bring in our guest in just a few minutes. We're going to wait and get a couple of more people on our live. I hope everyone is well today. I'm sucking on a cough drop because I have a little bit of cough, a little bit of sniffle, but I promise it's not COVID. It's pollen. So just give me a few minutes. Hello. Hey, Pamela. Hi, Shannon from Philadelphia. You guys, if you're watching, please let me know you're here so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself, even though I talk to myself all the time. It's what I do, especially when I'm working. So I am super excited. Um, I'm just super excited about Create Nation, period. So if you were on my live last week, then I spoke a little bit about Create Nation, and I'm going to take some time to speak about it again today. So just give me a few minutes. Okay, so happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are all doing well. So before I bring in our special guest, the lady of the hour, I wanted to just take a few minutes to just talk about what Create Nation is and who I am. This is kind of like a reintroduction of myself. Hey guys, hey cousin. So I have been, and I still am, a producer of film and stage. That is what I have been doing primarily my entire adult life. And that is what I still do. But many of you guys know I had a battle with breast cancer last year, one that I won. And through that journey, I really discovered a new passion of mine, which is really helping creatives and coaches to maximize their impacts. And there are many ways that I am doing this. And one of those ways is by a community of creatives called Create Nation. And in Create Nation, we share resources, we inspire each other, we make sure that our creative energy stays really flowing and that we continue to kill the notion of the starving artist. So I always like to say when I speak about creativity, I am not just speaking about my field, my industry, okay? I'm not just speaking about actors, singers, dancers, filmmakers, okay? If you are doing hair, that is creativity. If you are a chef, you are a creative. Whatever you are doing, whatever your passion is, I really want to work on helping people to monetize that. And my niche right now is YouTube. So if any of you guys have a brand or a business and you would like help on how to leverage social media, specifically YouTube, to increase your impact, influence, and income, please hit me up. We can have a conversation. I would love to help you. YouTube, social media, period, has done wonders for me and my brand and my business. But YouTube, even though it seems a little oversaturated, is really the way to go because it gets you out in front of your audience. And so tonight we are talking about business in general. So guys, if you were on last week and you heard from Jasmine, who is a 6-figure coach, then you know that was a very technical interview. Jasmine has a wealth of knowledge. She brings in $100,000 a month with her coaching program. And she was just inspiring us and giving us some tips. But today I have someone who is going to give you love, tough love, but love, because sometimes it's not all about the framework. Okay, the framework is important. The business is important. But what is also important is your heart space. It is your mindset. And it is your spiritual health. And sometimes you need to be told how to mind your business. So please join me as I bring in the lady of the hour. So I wish we had applause. I'm applauding.
Do you hear it?
Yes. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent. First and foremost, thank you for giving me your time, talent, and energy on this Tuesday, because I know you are a busy woman.
Listen, we going up on a Tuesday.
That's right. But what would you say? Do that shoulder. So, guys, I had the pleasure of attending an event. When was that? Man, it was
March 7th.
March 7th, called Goal Diggers. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. It was first of all, let me tell you, I love things that are branded. Like, that's my thing. And for me, it needs to be an experience from the time you walk in the door. And from the time I was a speaker, and from the time I walked in the door, I was like, this is everything. I went to an event a few years ago by Ming Lee. I don't know if you guys know Ming Lee. She is like, she's a big hair stylist. She is head of Snob Life. So I went to this networking event, and I think I paid like $300-400 for the ticket. And your event was equally as branded.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Your message matters. Your message matters. So we don't get the message in words. So
yes. So before we even get into anything, because we have lots to talk about, could you please introduce yourself to our audience? Who are you? What do you do? And what would you like to share?
Wow. Such a loaded question. Well, I am Kamala, known affectionately to some as Lady Kamala.
Yes,
I am the founder, executive director of the Lotus Flower Project. It is a nonprofit organization that brings women together of all backgrounds, and we inspire. Our hope is to inspire women how to be resilient and how to rise above life's challenges. Just like a lotus flower is buried in the mud, but it rises every day into something beautiful. Project that we do, every event that we put together, every outreach that we do, every post that I post, my goal, my hope, my desire, my purpose, my passion, my assignment is to let you know through all of those things that you can rise above your challenges and be a resilient woman.
Do you hear that? Do you guys hear that? Rise above your challenges. So you guys have got to connect with her on Facebook, because when I tell you, sometimes I'm in a space, I am in a place, and you will post something, and I'm like, you don't even know that was for me.
Listen, that's the whole purpose. Sometimes when you know who it's from, it can compromise the authenticity of it. It can shift the dynamics of it. It can cause, things to happen that shouldn't happen. I love it when people say, you didn't even know that was for me, because literally when I tell you 99.9% of my posts, they're for me. I'm talking out loud, really. Facebook has given us the ability to talk to ourselves,
Right.
into ourselves. So literally every post that I post, I'm telling you, it starts with me. It really starts with me. And even if it's not something that I'm good at yet, I'm speaking it for myself.
Right.
Like if I need to hear it, somebody else needs to hear it. So I just post it.
Man, that is amazing, because I swear you be speaking to me.
Aww.
So I definitely want to talk about the Lotus Flower Project and how we can get involved and all of that stuff, but I'm going to save that for a little later.
All right.
Because right now, I want to jump into mind your business.
Hi, tell your neighbor. Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
When I first saw you post this, okay, I was like, yes, man. Like right away, like I connected the dots and I said, yes, I need to mind my business in this time. So can you tell me a little bit about, first of all, I know like these things just drop into your spirit. So that is amazing. But tell me a little bit about Mind Your Business.
Well, right before the pandemic, because my organization is new, we just launched in November. And so right before that, I was trying to, get things together, find my audience, find my voice, all the things that we do when we're, doing business. We're trying to find our target audience. We're trying to find what our message is. We're trying to find what identifies with the people that follow us and this, that, and the other. Then when the pandemic hit, everything that I thought that I had down and how it was going to go. And, I had my year planned out and so on and so forth. All of that kind of had to be looked at again. And so I was just sitting and, I did what most people do, or what some people won't admit, but what most people do is I began to research and look to see what this person was doing and and how are they doing it, and how are they doing it, and how are they doing it. And you know what? A voice spoke to me and said, you need to mind your business. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing, because what works for somebody else may or may not work for you. So you have got to mind your business. If you want to have a business during the pandemic and after the pandemic, your focus needs to be on minding your business. What works for your client? What works for your audience? What works for your people? What works for your tribe? What works for your flossy posse?
That's right.
So I was just like, you know what? I got to start minding my business. I have got to start being about the shift, because things aren't technically going to be the same when this is over. And so how am I going to be able to shift with this after the pandemic is over? And that's basically what minding your business is about. Minding the business that pays you, and minding your brand, and minding your customers. Stop looking to see what some other business is doing and ask your customers, hey, going forward, what would you be comfortable with? Or how would you be comfortable with this? Or what should this look like? Or what should that be? Just minding your business.
Yes.
And mind your business.
It is so necessary.
Yes.
I think there's a difference between gaining inspiration by looking at others, how they handle things, and the anxiety that comes when you are all up in somebody else's business.
That's it.
Man,
listen, nobody can conduct your business the way you can.
Right.
So we are often upset or discouraged when we mind someone else's business and try to implement that into our business, and it worked for us. We're disappointed or defeated because we haven't mind our own business. It's going to be, very important going forward that there are going to be subtle changes, simple changes, and drastic changes.
Yes.
And they're going to come in stages, right? And so, in order to sustain your organization or your business, you've got to be able to shift with all of those changes. Not to get religious, but the scripture says that there's a season for everything.
Right. Yes.
So, this is the season to mind your business.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
This is that season to study and to see what works for you, to not be afraid to fail. Starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. Not it's almost, for some business owners, it's almost going to be like starting fresh and starting anew, which does not have to be a bad thing.
Right.
So able to start at a different angle can be a great opportunity for some businesses who kind of were afraid to kind of start over, or it may have appeared that you're start over. You're not necessarily starting over, you're starting anew.
Yes.
New is different than starting over, because when you're starting anew, you're starting from experience.
That's so powerful.
That's kind of where I was, and not getting into the habit of comparing the way someone else does something to the way that you're doing something, or down the way that someone else is doing something because it looks different than what you're doing.
Right.
For them, it works for them. If it didn't work for you, it did not work for you. Just keep minding your business, and everything will line up and align the way that it should.
Absolutely. Because when you work on your business and in your business, right? Because there's a difference on and in your business.
That's it.
Then your business will blossom. And it will blossom the way it is intended for you.
That's it.
For you. I find, and if any of you guys who are listening can relate, please let us know. But I find that even with some of the successes, or by other people's measure of successes that I've had, I still, I will look at other content creators. I will look at other filmmakers. I will see what they're doing, and I will feel sick to my stomach. Like I am not doing enough. It's like I had to really first I had to be kind to myself.
That's good.
Give myself grace. But I had to realize that it was a trigger for me because I was so busy minding their business and measuring my success
against someone else.
Yeah. And that is
dangerous.
Oh man.
Dangerous.
It's
dangerous. One, because you're not being authentic. That's one. And so you will find that your purpose, your passion doesn't bring you excitement anymore, because you're not operating in the measure of gifting that you have. You have to operate in what you have. I often tell people that, I don't feel bad about the things that I can't do, because the things that I can do, I do them well.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. The things that you can do them well, execute them well. Listen, we talked about, the event and how well the event looked from the door, and how you felt the experience. As an event planner, that's what I can do well.
Right.
I'm good at speaking, so you never see me as the keynote speaker. I'm not very good at keynote speaking and different things like that.
When you see you, man, I was like, is she preaching? What is happening? Because I am feeling it, and she is funny.
That's the problem. I'm funny. I'll be laughing all the time. But I do know how to create an experience to where the message is conveyed from the time you come in to the time that you go out, because I find that there are many, many ways of receiving a message, and it may not necessarily come from the speaker. It may have come from the way someone was treated, or the experience they got when they were in the presence of something that I've put together. They may have gotten anything out of the speaker, but if I can create an atmosphere where people feel comfortable talking to their neighbor and speaking to their neighbor, the person at the table with them may have been the one that they got the biggest message from that day. So you have to figure out what you're good at and be good at that. I mean, you got to study that and you've got to mind that business and be good at it. Have you ever been to a company where the product wasn't that good, but the service is the bomb?
Yes,
I
yes.
ain't gonna say no names, but there's a certain restaurant that sells really good chicken and it's really overpriced. But when I tell you, don't people get you through that line? Do you hear me? They will get you through that line. And so you pay for the experience, for the service. When
Right.
it's not that it's the best chicken in the city, in the town, whatever the case may be, but the experience, the service is always good, the
Yes.
product is always fresh, even though it may cost more than you want to spend. If you're on a 30-minute lunch break and you have a choice between that and somewhere else, you know that you're going to get in and out of there in time and that you're going to have a fresh product. They have dominated that lane.
Absolutely.
And when you're minding your business, when you're sitting there trying to focus on, okay, how am I going to continue to make my business flourish after the pandemic, then that's what you need to start with. What part of your business you have already currently mastered? What part of the business you've mastered and that you're well at? Dominate that.
Yes.
That, and then build and shift from there. But if service is your thing, then provide the best service you can, whether that be virtually, whether that be in person. If you have a business that's going to cause you to have to move to virtual, a lot of people are nervous about having to do consultations virtually now.
Right.
Versus in person. Listen, service is service.
You're right.
This is your thing, and you have to do a consultation virtually for safety reasons. You are on time on that virtual.
Yes.
Have visuals in the background or in the foreground, your service, you speak well, you are in a quiet, well-lit place. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. You can still provide an amazing service to where a person is like, okay, I'm ready for step number 2, which step number 2 may be meeting in person. But there's a lot of folks that are nervous that a lot of their consultations or a large portion of their business may become virtual for the next few months, at least until folks are more comfortable with contact. If your client is, if you're comfortable with one-on-one contact and your client is comfortable with one-on-one contact, you might need to invest in some really cute masks. You may have to invest a little bit to make that experience to make up for something else. But that's basically. That's the game.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you're good at, be damn good
at. Yes. Be damn good at. Yes. I mean, it seems so simple, or it seems like we, especially those of us who are entrepreneurs or we're in the nonprofit sector and we're really pushing a movement, it seems like that is something that would come easy, but we are overthinkers sometimes.
That's it. We're overthinking the process. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of overthinking. How is this going to look? How is this going to work? My organization is built around gathering folks together.
Yeah.
That's the core of my organization. It is built around gathering folks together. How is that going to look? How is that going to work? How am I going to be able to do that? I started watching virtuals and people were having pajama parties virtually, and they were cute. No shade. They were really cute. They were having brunches virtually. I saw tea parties virtually. I saw pretty much everything that you could name virtually. But then I started thinking about the heart of my audience. Mm-hmm. That won't necessarily not work for the heart of my audience. So I'm like, okay, so I started panicking. Mm-hmm. How am I going to gather women together and be safe at the same time?
Right.
And, it just comes with being creative. If you have an organization or a business, if part of that requires folks to gather together, and we may not be able to gather together in large groups, possibly for the rest of the year, maybe even going forward. What does that look like? Everything can't be done. Some people need that contact and they're okay with that contact. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, multiple events in one day. So you have smaller groups of people and you have 3 sessions. So you have a morning session, you have an afternoon session, and you have an evening session. You have 25 people in each session. It's still a group of 75 people, right? Mm-hmm. You don't see them all at one time. Here's the positive. Here's what you have to do when you're shifting, when you're adjusting, when you're minding your business. You have to look at the positives and things. You have to shift your.
Yeah.
That is not a negative. That gives early folks time to register for the morning event. That gives people who aren't early risers like myself
Right.
who register for the midday event, and that gives evening people time who want to have their day to them or can only get a sitter in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Positives of that change versus the negative, and that may not work for you, but it doesn't hurt to try it.
Right.
Will it require more effort? Again, here's where I stay in my lane because I am an event planner. I can flip an event quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Look just as new for the second class as I can for the first class. That's my lane. So
Right.
that's where I'll work it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Having multiple classes or either having an event on multiple days. You have a Friday event, a Saturday event, a Sunday event. Will everybody be able to do that? No, because sometimes you won't have a venue where all 3 days are available.
Right.
Here's the positive. Okay, you can use 3 different events, 3 different venues for that. Still the same thing. Will that might challenge you with speaking? Don't look at challenges, look at
Right. Yes.
get you some solution minded. This is going to be critical, is for you to get solution minded people around you.
Yes.
Not problematic people, not people that point out the problems, but people that can point out the solution on how to adjust during this pandemic. I strongly believe that business is going to come out better.
Mm-hmm.
These challenges are going to bear fruit and
Absolutely.
are going to come out better, but you have to mind your business.
Yes. Yes.
Business. It's the key. It is the key to success for all organizations and all business owners. It's the key.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you in saying that the challenges that are presented are going to make so many businesses stronger and more versatile. I see it in my own business. When you talk about groups, I produce theater and we have 600 plus people that come, and I really had to sit down with myself and say, even when the world opens back up, people are not going to be comfortable. And so I'm like, we just have to do intimate shows, I moved to teaching virtual classes. So, my teachers in my program, they teach modern dance, visual arts, theater, all of this online. And I would not have even fathomed this working before I had to,
Right.
So you have
when that happens, when you're forced to just, to get out of your comfort zone.
Yep. Yes.
Plus, I don't care what's going on. I don't care what takes place. When you're forced to come out of your comfort zone, something good will come out of it.
Always.
If you come out of the comfort zone, all you've got to do is just come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
No failure in trying.
Right. Right. And if you don't try,
that's when you fail.
Yeah, exactly.
When you didn't try.
So you have talked about the shift a couple of times. Shifting. Can you just talk to me a little bit about, what that means to you? What does the shift mean? What does it look like? And when you speak of that, what are you referring to?
Well, I totally believe that there is a shifting in the atmosphere. There is a movement. I don't know exactly what is it about. I can't, I don't want to pinpoint. I know that the wind is blowing. I know the wind is blowing, and I know that have you ever seen in the fall when the wind blows and the leaves just kind of dance?
Yeah.
Shift around. And when the wind stops blowing, they settle.
Yeah.
And they may land away from the tree that they fell off of, but they still land on good ground.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I feel like. I feel like the wind is blowing and things are moving and leaves are moving around. And I believe that when the wind stops blowing, that you'll still land on good ground.
Mm.
And so the advice I would give to anybody right now that just feels like, things are just moving, things are just changing, to be fluid, to be
Mm.
and just let it flow and just kind of be fluid and let things go, be willing to try new things. But I definitely feel a shifting in energy. I feel a shifting in comfort levels. I
Mhm.
feel an overall shifting. I believe that anyone that's in the business of people,
Mhm.
that's all pretty much every business,
Yeah.
is there's a customer. I think that this isolation is going to give us a better appreciation of people, of
Mhm.
contact, of life, of breath, that there's just going to be an invigoration, uh, almost like a rebirth,
Yeah.
within individuals, within people, within our mindsets, within, our thinking patterns. I just think that the it's just a positive shift to me.
Mm.
So I feel it. It doesn't feel, if you allow yourself to get caught up in that, negativity, there's so much talk about doomsday and the end.
Right.
I don't feel that.
Yeah.
I don't feel that. I feel like there is breath being blown over the earth, and it's wind, and it's stirring, and it's moving.
Mm.
And I like it.
That is a beautiful way to put it. And I really wish that we heard more of that perspective
Mhm.
than the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, that's about you got to get your tribe. This
Get
is
your
This
tribe.
is
Yes.
important. Get your tribe, your flossy posse. You gotta get the right people. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get the right people. Damn news, right? And
Uh-huh.
you gotta get around the right people and just and get inspired.
Yes.
Use this time to connect and get inspired. Listen, this is an introvert's dream. If
Yeah.
you're in business and you're an introvert, like, you should be living it up right now, because you can connect with people without having that interaction and contact.
Hmm.
You're an introvert and that's been your struggle, is
Hmm.
contact and networking. This is the perfect time to make connections virtually, which will ease it up for you when it's time to start connecting personally. If you're that shy person that doesn't know how to shake somebody's hand in the middle of the room or doesn't feel comfortable with that, this is your time to
Right.
email, to invite someone virtually and have a conversation virtually. And then when we're able to go outside and play again, you already know this person, so it's not so awkward. Like, this is this is how you have to think of every negative, and that all depends on who you have around you.
Right, absolutely. And that's what I was going to ask you next about your tribe, your, what did you call it? Flossy
My
posse?
flossy posse.
How essential that is. So how do you go about identifying your tribe or finding your tribe? Like, how does one navigate that process?
Girl, when you find the book, let me know. I have not mastered it. You know, it's something you pray for. If you're a prayer, it's definitely something that you pray for, but you have to allow yourself.
Allow.
What did our good girlfriend say on the panel, Dr. Shalonda Peterson? You have to give yourself permission.
Yes.
You've got to give yourself permission to open yourself up to other people,
Mhm.
and make connections. Here's
Mhm.
where we go wrong. We allow too many flags before they turn red.
Uh,
Right? So the first flag, sus. So we allow too many red flags, too many flags to go up before we turn them red.
Mhm.
are in a time right now, really, Onyx, where if there's not a table that you want to sit at, you can create a table.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
create your own table. And
Yes.
when you create a table, if the food that you put on it is sustaining people, they will come and have and take a seat.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's really how you find your flossy posse right now. You have to have a table for one. You start out with dining for one with your,
Mm-hmm.
and you create a meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you put it out to share. You put the meal out to share. And if what you have, if the meal, which is your product, your service, your good, that's your meal. If your meal sustains people, folks will come and have a seat. You ever been in a restaurant and you sitting by yourself or in a crowded place like the airport or something, you sitting by yourself or whatever, and you just kind of look friendly or you just have that energy about you, walk up and say, is anybody sitting here? That's what happens when you build a table and you put on it worth sitting to.
Yeah, yeah,
People
absolutely.
will come and they will sit at your table. Now,
Now.
you will have folks that will that will sit and eat and not bring anything, to the potluck. And again,
Mhm.
that's where we allow too many red flags,
Yes,
to go by. But that's really how you find your tribe, your vibe. When you're authentic, Onyx, they come to you.
right.
You don't have to seek them.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn that the hard way. I'm still learning that the hard way. So I'm not the master of that. I'm not speaking, and I apologize if I'm speaking as though I've arrived to that.
Mm-hmm.
I have not, but I have learned that when you are yourself, me, country, geechee, when you are your authentic self, then you draw the people that are looking for you. When you're not your authentic self, you are doing a disadvantage to the people who are looking for you. Have you ever gone online and searched for a particular company or a particular person that you can identify with and you find them?
Mm-hmm.
It's because somebody ain't being their damn self. You can't be the only one.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's just how I was. I would be searching and searching and searching. I'm like, no, they're too this and no, they're too that. Why can't I find someone that looks like me, that sounds like me, that is?
Right.
I'm like, somebody ain't being they self.
Right. Absolutely.
You attract who you are, and when
Absolutely.
you are not being your authentic self, you are doing a disadvantage to the people who are looking for you.
Absolutely.
They're looking for you.
Absolutely.
They are looking for you.
I say this to my my YouTube clients all the time. I don't care if there's 1,000 beauty gurus. Okay, there's only one you.
That's it. That's it.
And there is an audience out there
Just for
who
you.
wants to learn from you.
That's it. That's it.
It is so true. If we can just kind of jump subjects a little bit, because I know that in Create Nation, we have a lot of creatives who are starting either their own nonprofit or planning events for when we open back up. So as an event planner, could you give us like 3 tips to kind of help people get started with planning an event successfully?
Yes. The first thing I would say, if you have had to if your organization have had to reschedule events,
Mm-hmm.
you have to reschedule events. Going back, be open to intimate events.
Mm-hmm.
For safety reasons, and you want to be delicate and you want to be conscious of the concerns of people. So be open about smaller events, right? Use the tips that I gave earlier, or suggestions I gave earlier, spacing them out over maybe a 3-day period instead of a 1-day event, or spacing them out and making it a 2-3 hour at a time event while you're doing multiple events or multiple sessions in the same day. Still offering the same thing each time, but at 3 different times. Keep in mind, though, you want to make the experience for the first group just as good as the experience for the last group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Allow yourself enough time between each event that you're able to flip and clean the room and present it just as though you did for the first group, for the middle group, and as well as the last group. You want to make sure if you're serving food that you reserve food for each group. You do not want to carry food over for safety reasons. You don't want to carry food over for each event. You want to have enough food for each event, fresh food for each event. Registration is going to be critical. This is not going to be a time where it's just kind of come one, come all kind of thing. Registration will be critical in doing this so that you know how many people that you have in the room, right? Activities that require touching, I would refrain from those things right now. If there's activities that you do that may require touching, making sure that the room is large enough that folks are kind of spread it out a little further and not so. Again, keeping those intimate. Don't get yourself caught up in numbers after. That is going to be the biggest piece of advice that I can give you. Don't get yourself caught up in numbers after this. Okay? Intimacy can be a wonderful tool. A wonderful tool. And listen, your message matters whether it's 1 or 100. It still matters, right? So do not get caught up in numbers. Be open to smaller groups. Be open to multiple shows or multiple workshops in the course of days or within one day, but over a course of time. Those would be the things I would say do. Don't cancel your event. Be open to outdoor events. Be open to having speakers virtually and not in person. Some speakers may not be comfortable with travel yet. A big concern for me. My keynote speaker that I have in mind may not be comfortable yet with getting on a plane. I may have to have the folks in the room, and I may have to have her virtually as a speaker. Be open to all of those things. Look like you thought it was going to look like, but it's going to look like it should look like.
Absolutely. I think the biggest takeaway is be open.
Be open, flexible.
Because as entrepreneurs and impact leaders and influencers, we are already thinking about events that we may have in October and November in 2021, because this is not something, that happens overnight. So we have to plan. So I think that is absolutely amazing advice, because we are, even though the world, is shut down right now, for us to mind our business is to plan for the future. Figure out what that looks like.
Yep.
So,
and you may have to play with that for a little while. Your event will not be a flop. Say it. Your event, my event will not be a flop. My business will not be a flop. It will not, right? And so if that didn't work, it just didn't work. It doesn't make it unsuccessful. You try something else the next time, and you try something else the next time. And don't assume that you know what the people want. Are you good with this? Are you comfortable with this? If I did this, would you attend this? Ask the people what they want. Don't assume that you know what they want, because what your customers or what your clients may have wanted in the past could be different now. So be open to asking them. You're not going to be able to please everybody. This is not the time to be a people pleaser. To be able to please everybody. But if you're pleased and you have peace with what you're producing, then you're on the right track.
Absolutely. So I want to round out this conversation with talking about the Lotus Flower Project. So anyone who is on live or in the Create Nation group, if you have any questions, drop them down. We will definitely get to them. But I definitely wanted to transition to talk about the Lotus Flower Project, your baby. And so I know you spoke about it a little bit, but can you tell us what your, what the mission is, what the vision is, and how we can be a part of it?
Yes, yes. So our mission again is to just bring women together of all backgrounds, all ethnicities, especially gearing towards women who have maybe suffered some type of traumatic trauma in their lives.
Mhm.
Allowing women to see that you can take off your cape, right? And that you don't have to be superwoman, right? And that you can see someone that looks like you. So many times we as women, we hide behind our hair and we hide behind our makeup. And so a lot of times we want to talk, right? But we don't see anybody that looks like us, right?
Yeah.
So, isolation will cause you to feel like you're all alone in something. And
Mhm.
our mission and our vision is to create space where women can come together, where you hang your cape up, take your cape off and hang it up, and you can come in. And when someone says, "Hey, are you okay?" you can honestly answer and say, "I'm not okay.
Mm.
Not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay." And so I wanted to create a space like that because I am a pastor's wife. I understand the difficulty when life hits you, right?
Mhm.
You not sure where to turn. And I always like to say that you can't talk to everybody, but everybody needs somebody.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody needs somebody. And so what the desire is, to create a space for that. And then once you've opened up, and sometimes it's just getting around people that look like you and you admit that there is something that you need to dig deeper.
Mhm.
We'll partner with other organizations. We partner with licensed therapists. We partner with other groups that we can send you to for continuing healing. So, we gather together, get you to open up so that you can see that you're not alone. And then if you need further attention, further digging into that, then I connect you with other reputable, vetted organizations that can assist you with your journey. And then you can then come back and tell us the story of how you bend but not broke,
Mm.
of resilient to bend but not break. Because we all bend,
Yes.
bend, right?
Yes.
But resilience is to bend but not break.
Wow.
That the ladies will come back, and eventually over time, as the organization goes on, we'll have testimonials, and women will come back and they will tell their story and they'll share it with others, and and so on and so on, and we'll just keep passing that torch and passing that torch and keep rising.
That is beautiful. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
doing this work. I'm sure there are so many women who can resonate with wanting to take that cape off and
Mhm.
not having the space or a place to do so,
That's it.
and not feeling judged or weak for it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that is just powerful.
Yes,
You know,
yes. It's important to see people that look like you. It's
yeah.
like that is so important. My husband oftentimes say that inclusion is not, I think he says that it's not just being invited to the dance, but it's being asked to dance.
Oh, yes.
So that's what I want. I want to create an environment of inclusion where you're not just invited to come, but you're invited to participate. You're invited to speak. You're invited to share. You're invited to open up. You're not just invited to come sit and hear somebody else talk to you, but we want you to talk back to us. We
Yeah.
conversation, we don't want it to be one-sided. So I want to invite you in the room, but I don't want you just to come and sit. I want you to open up. I want you to flourish. I want you to bloom. I want you to be planted. I want you to be rooted. I want you to bend and not break.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing because let me tell you guys, this is truly like her mission shows up because at the Gold Diggers conference event that she had, I call it an audience because I'm in show business. So the audience or the participants, like they opened up and they had us, the speakers, in tears. They
Mhm.
had a place to talk about some really heavy things in the room, in the space that you created. Like I saw it firsthand. They had a voice and you gave an opportunity for them to be heard. And it didn't matter if they were up on that stage on the panel.
That's
It
it.
didn't matter.
Mhm.
It's in the love and the support and the people, the reflection of each other that we saw was
Mhm.
absolutely phenomenal.
That's it.
So,
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And we're going to continue to do that after this pandemic. Onyx, you and
yeah.
I and others, we're going to continue to do that. We're just, it's our mission. And I truly believe that we were designed to do,
Mhm.
and that nothing's going to stop us from doing that.
Yeah, nothing.
If we have to do it in groups of 10,
That's right.
that's what we'll have to do.
Absolutely. So where do you see the Lotus Flower Project in 5 years?
Oh, wow. I see it being outside of my zip code. I see
Mhm.
it being chapters in other areas. I see it being a national movement of lotus flowers all over, because there's a lotus flower everywhere. There's
Yeah.
a everywhere, and it's so beautiful, and you don't realize it's a lotus flower because the lotus flower is a beautiful flower on the surface.
Mhm.
It's buried in mud. And so you have to really look for the lotus flower. You have to find her. And I believe she's looking to be found in other places outside of Jacksonville. However, I'm very shy, geeky, and country. So in that order, so I hope in 5 years to see other folks in other places who jump on board and would like to carry this mission out where they are. I hope
Mhm.
a plan and programs in place that I can train and teach others some of the things that work for us here in this region. Everything may not work in all regions, but I hope within 5 years that folks will just reach out and say, hey, how can I start a Lotus Flower chapter where I am? I love what you're doing. I love what I see, but I can't make it to Jacksonville.
Mhm.
How can I do it where I am? And 5 years, I hope to see that we have Lotus Flower chapters all over, and that we just have blossoming women who are just beautiful and are helping. And that's just kind of where I see it going.
That is absolutely amazing. I touch and agree. I touch and agree.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I hope that we can have you be our guest again.
Yes, absolutely.
I believe what you said about mind your business resonates so much, and it's something that we need to say to ourselves, and like you said, to our
Yeah,
neighbors.
your neighbor.
Yeah, it's time to mind your
Your business.
business.
That's
And
it.
I so appreciate you. Please let us know where we can find you.
Okay. Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at the_lotus_flower_project. You can email me at the Lotus Flower Project info@gmail.com. Again, that's the Lotus Flower Project info@gmail.com. You can follow me personally at Kamala Williams. That's Kamala Williams, just like Kamala Harris, but it's Kamala Williams. Yes, one day I may run for president. You can also find me in my group at Lady Kamala, LADY, Lady Kamala. Again, that's the Lotus Flower Project and the Lotus Flower Project info@gmail.com. Kamala Williams is my private page, and Lady Kamala is my open group. You can like that group as well.
Awesome. So once again, thank you so, 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 so much.
Thank
Um,
you.
those of you who are a part of Create Nation, remember to mind your business. Remember that just flow with the shift.
That's
Just
it.
flow with the shift
That's
and
it.
be open. Thank you for
That's
those
it.
nuggets.
You're welcome.
And you have a wonderful evening. Everyone who's watching, have a wonderful evening. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you ever have any questions about film, theater, production, YouTube, building your brand. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will definitely respond and we can talk. Thank you guys. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.